Oh my god, they're huge! Hello and welcome dear skill modelers to my small hobby YouTube channel. My name is Tomo and today we're going to be looking at a Russian airplane. This year REVELL has released a couple of kits that I think should be really interesting to review. And if you're fortunate enough to get one of these catalogs, you'll see that it's packed full of just plasticky goodness and you're just drooling all over it. I think that REVELL USA and REVELL Germany have merged, and in this catalog they display this where they have a special section where just they have their American releases as well as the European ones, and it's just jam-packed with wow plastic. One of which we are going to be looking at today, and that is the Antonov 225 MRIJA airplane, and it's pretty big. How big do you say? This big. Oh yeah. I'll just put it like this. It's not inconvenient at all. It's really big. Let's shrink it down to size and put it up in its corner, right? Okay, so now that it's up there and it's shrunk, you can see that the box is substantial, and not only the box but also the kit. Sometimes you will get the kit and then the box is way too big for the parts inside, but this time the size of the box is actually justified. Bear in mind that this is a level 5 kit, which means that it has over 200 parts. In fact, this one has 227 parts. Also, this is 100 to 144th scale, which is poo, you know, it's like it's 144 times smaller than the original size, and it's still big. Because if you're comparing it to other models that are at that scale, it's like they're small, they're like tiny. This one is, like I've mentioned, if you're lucky enough to get one of these catalogs, you'll see that there are a couple of new releases, among which, again, is this one, the Porsche 356 Coupe, helicopter H145 Police, cabrio version of the Porsche 356, Ford GT Le Mans 2017 version, the motorcycle Honda CBX 400F, the Yak Panzer 38T, and of course the pièce de résistance, REVELL's 1/35th scale Tiger II full interior with some pretty impressive parts. These are just some of the kits that I can show you guys on this channel, and if you want to vote for one, leave a comment down below. This kit was officially released last year, 2018. However, only this year I think they've pumped them out enough for retails to sell. This model also has some unique features, one of which is the doors. The cargo bay doors can be displayed open or closed, and also the loading ramp can be displayed up or down. So without me going on too much, let us jump into the box. Okay guys, let's start to open this box. It's huge, as you can see. It's absolutely massive. My table is so small when you see something like this. So look at this from all sides. The breakdown of Sprues. See, it's like enormous. Ginormous. Let's open her up. Oh my god, they're huge. These are one big pieces of plastic. Oh my god, those are the wings. Oh. Okay, let me just take all these things out from their box, and wow, look at that. And I'll show it to you. These are the enormous wing sections, and you can see the detail if I go into the light. It reflects it pretty well. The surface area is just mind-boggling. It's just huge. I mean, I have a big hand, and look at that. I can't cover the whole wing with my hand, and this is just insane. These are the back stabilizers, I believe. Oh my god, look at that. And you have tons of little groove detail. It's just amazing. The next big sprue contains the bottom portion of the airplane, as well as another portion of the wings. I think this is the bottom portion of the wing because this is where the engines are mounted, and some back wings. If you can see, if I just turn this to the light, you can see all the little details that are present on the surface of this ginormous model kit. So these are the 3 smaller sprues that come with the kit. Well, smaller, it's a very, you know, perspective wise, but it's still huge. And this first sprue that we're going to take a look at is, of course, the landing gear assembly. And look at all those wheels. Oh my lord, this one has so many wheels. And from the other side we have the stubs that you just insert through these holes and then connect up the wheels. On the other side we have some other fairings and pieces of plastic that go inside the fuselage, and these bigger pieces I think are the ribs for the internal structure. As you can see that there are some sort of markings from moldings. That might be a problem, especially if you're trying to display the piece with the front open, because this I think is the loading ramp on which cargo is supposed to go up. And if you can see those little stubs here, it will be pretty annoying. But I think that that is the bottom portion, and this is the upper portion, the upper surface, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem. But Revell being Revell. Otherwise, as far as the sprue quality is concerned, the plastic is pretty okay. I'm not really having any. I don't really have any particular fads about that one. It's white, as you can see, and it doesn't feel cheap. And it's pretty. I think it's going to be a solid model to build, to be honest. That's at least what I think. So this is the outer portion of the fuselage. Wow. Okay, so let's see the second sprue. So this is the second sprue that comes in the big bag, and this is the cargo bay area, which you can show to the public if you decide to put the nose up of the plane, the loading ramp. And I think this is the bottom portion, and this is supposed to be the upper side. Yeah, I think this is the upper side of the airplane, where the pilots eventually sit here in the cockpit. And you have the little ladders. Wow, this is just amazing. Look at that. Huge stuff. Okay, let's move on to the third sprue in this little bag. Okay. We still have some fuselage parts. This is the bottom portion, I guess, too. The other one might be the upper portion, because now that I see that these are the openings for the gears, so the other one that I showed previously should have been the upper side, and this is the lower. And the sides of the plane with all the little detail of the ribs of the aircraft, the fuselage, and on the inside you can clearly see them and feel them. It's just insane. Look at that. Another piece of the loading ramp. It's just insane. This aircraft is so big that it actually needs a big, thick plastic support strut for the wings. I mean, look at that piece of plastic. It's really just thick plastic that just, it's wow. I mean, no words. Okay, so here are all the motor cowlings. Well, the 2 pieces of motors that go together, so you know, and they are still very big. I mean, look at that. Look at my finger and look at this size, the size of this thing. It is huge. And this is of course the cockpit with seats already inside, which is another step that they took for you. There's one piece. Some people don't like this, some people don't care, like me, and some people, I guess, just love it. I don't know. Anyway, this is how the cockpit of the airplane looks. We still have some part of the motor assembly, the front fairing for the motor, and the inner fans, the side of the aircraft that sucks the air in, because this is the exhaust and that's the intake. And whole fairings. Wow, look at that. And here we go, guys, the mother of all fuselages. This is the fuselage section. Oh my lord, it is big. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. Look at that. Let me just, this is the bottom portion. Okay, so this is like how the plane is supposed to be. So wait, my little piggy there. Okay, so let me take you closer in. You can see all the little details and stuff. See, you got huge grooves inside. They're not that deep. They're very shallow, and but you know, they're there, so it's cool. The model does have a lot of detail, lots and lots of panels. It is just amazing. Look at that. And of course, the old famous nose of the 225 from 2 parts. These are the 2 last tiny little sprues, and this is really tiny. Well, at least for as compared to the other ones. These are the basically clear parts. You can see the cockpit windows and the lights on the tail, on the wings tips. And these, I think, are the windows from the fuselage. I do believe so. Yeah. Okay, so these are the huge decals. And these are just beautifully printed. Look at that. Even the smaller printed decals. Well, smaller for this plane anyway. Just enormous. And you have a telephone number if you want to call them. If you want to be delivered to some place. Not a sponsor, just saying. Designed by Decals products, printed in Italy for REVELL. Well, now you know who made them. Beautiful. Beautiful! The manual now. Okay, the manual for this little airplane is really thick. Look at that, it's a book. But I really love this type of manual because it's colored and we like colors. So let me just quickly go through the manual. Okay, the boring stuff is here. Okay, and you can see the 4 distinctive types of versions you can build, and you have to decide which one you will display because you cannot have all 4 of them, unfortunately. That would be really cool if you could have like all 3 versions. Well, like at least 3 versions. Yeah, this one is, you know, gears up, but it would be really cool if you could at least have the chance to display 2, 3, and 4 depending on how you want to display it, you know. And options. So you can see here you have the various options how to put stuff in depending on what you're going to display it. So you have to make that decision very early on, and then as you continue, you'll see in the corners what part is needed for which part of the assembly, depending on, of course, what you choose to display. And look at those landing gears. Wow. Okay, so again, we're going to go quickly through this. See? And that was the top portion that I saw. And that little support, you see? The little support for the wings. Huge. And the wing sections. It's pretty just amazing. And the engine assembly. And then you have another page with the fairings. And then you have another page with, again, depending on what you're going to present, you have to make decisions again here. It's just huge. And wow, there's so many pages. And this is the 88th step. See the nose. Cargo doors. Oops. And then we have the decals, where they go and how they're placed, where they're placed. Beautiful. The plane is basically just white, so you know you don't have to do a lot of crazy painting. But I guess if you want to make it realistic, you would weather it a little bit. And that's it. Done. Congratulations, you made it to the end of this video, so why don't you celebrate by subscribing to my channel? Thank you so very much for watching if you have been. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I'll see you again soon in the next one. Bye bye.